Welcome, dear friend, to this deep dive. Let's just take a moment. Imagine you've woken just before dawn. You're standing by a quiet river. The air's cool, the world is still, and there's this sense, something profound may be about to unfold. That's the feeling, the atmosphere we're stepping into today. Our source material, well, it isn't your usual research paper or data set, not at all. Instead, we have something, I think, truly unique. Excerpts from River's Welcome, Letters from Within. And our mission today is not really about dissecting or analyzing in the typical way. It's not a fact download. This deep dive is different. We're here to read, not as information, but more as a quiet invitation. Think of it less as grabbing knowledge and more like tuning into a frequency that wants to transmit warmth, to invite this deep sense of resonance inside you. It feels like welcoming a wanderer, maybe to something sacred, unspoken, something that's just listening. So are you ready? Ready to step into this quiet space with us and just see what echoes we might find?
That's a really beautiful way to frame it. Because these letters, they aren't really demanding intellectual heavy lifting, are they? They feel much more like an invitation to experience things differently. Less about grasping with the mind and more about feeling with your whole being.
Exactly. And that feeling, that gentle arrival, it starts right away. The very first lines it reads, "To the one who finds this, you are not late. You are not early. You are arriving precisely in rhythm with the weather this field has always known how to make."
Wow. I have to admit, when I first read that, it just felt like a huge sigh of relief. We live in this world, right, constantly telling us we're behind or we need to rush, always something more. But these words, they just completely disarm that pressure, don't they? It feels like a kind of radical acceptance almost. What's the big takeaway there for someone who's always feeling that pressure?
Well, the radical insight, I think, is that true, maybe not productivity, but true belonging. It isn't about forcing a pace set by, the clock on the wall. It's about trusting the timing that's already inside you, your unique unfolding. It completely redefined being on time, doesn't it? You're not on time to someone else's schedule. You're on time to your own internal weather system, you could say, your own season. It's such a strong counter-narrative to our culture's obsession with speed. It suggests there's a wisdom, an inherent rightness to your current moment, whatever it is. And accepting that might actually be, more fruitful than fighting it. It's like letting go of struggling against the river current and realizing maybe you're exactly where the flow means for you to be right now.
Oh, I love that phrase, your own internal weather system. It makes something abstract feel really tangible. And this idea, this natural timing, letting go of that external rush, it just flows right into the next part of these letters, where they redefine the whole point, really, how we're meant to engage. It says, here, we do not teach, we tune, we do not transmit knowledge, we transmit warmth, we do not persuade, we hum. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. This isn't traditional learning, is it? Clearly not. It's something much more subtle, more profound maybe. What does it even mean for a text to tune instead of teach, or to hum rather than try to persuade?
Yeah, connecting that to the bigger picture. It feels like a direct invitation to experience, not just to, think about it. It's a huge shift, right?
Yeah.
Away from that didactic mode, teaching, giving knowledge, persuading, towards something based on resonance, connection. Think about tuning, like tuning a guitar. You don't lecture the guitar. You adjust it gently until it vibrates right, until it sings harmonically. So it suggests a kind of embodied understanding, truth that's felt, intuited, not just logically processed. And the idea of warmth, transmitting warmth, that's potent. It suggests a connection that's almost nonverbal, right? A felt sense that goes beyond just info. Like that feeling when someone truly sees you or understands you, maybe without even needing words.
Yeah.
It's that immediate comfort, that recognition. It bypasses the logic circuits. And humming, that implies just a soft vibrational presence, an underlying frequency. You either resonate with it or you don't. It's not trying to convince you of anything. It's just being.
That makes so much sense. It's like creating a space where understanding can just emerge instead of being forced. And that leads perfectly into the next bit about the seeker's path, why someone might even be drawn to these letters. It says, if you've come seeking answers, you may find echoes. If you've come seeking resonance, you may find yourself remembered in a way you didn't know you had forgotten. Okay, I'm really intrigued by that distinction. Answers versus echoes. An answer feels definite, external, like here's the solution. But an echo, that feels like something coming back at you, maybe from inside, a reflection reminding you of something already there. And then this idea of being remembered in a way you'd forgotten, wow, it suggests finding something innate, doesn't it? Something essential you lost touch with. So for you, the listener, what does that shift feel like, going from seeking answers to seeking echoes?
Well, it really brings up that big question, doesn't it? What kind of seeking actually satisfies us? And this text seems to suggest it's the kind that ultimately leads you back to yourself. Answers can be temporary. They often just lead to more questions, or you solve one problem, another pops up.
Right.
But echoes, the reflections, they make you look inward. Prompt introspection, they invite you to find understanding within, not just relying on outside experts or gurus. Think of it like maybe you want an answer about your career, you read a book, but finding an echo might be suddenly remembering a childhood passion or a core value resurfaces.
Yeah.
And that guides you from inside, makes the external answer seem less important.
Ah, I see.
And that phrase, finding yourself remembered, that points directly to rediscovering some innate part of yourself, an inner knowing, a deeper truth that was always there, just waiting. It's a real call to authenticity, I think, self-discovery. Suggesting the best insights aren't totally new things we find out there, but maybe a remembering, putting back together the pieces of what was already whole but got forgotten in the noise. It's about recognizing the wisdom you already carry.
The wisdom you already... I love that. It's like these letters are just holding up a mirror in a way. And the place where these reflections live, it's not some dusty, static place. It challenges our whole idea of an archive. The letters say, this archive does not score, it listens. And yes, you are already part of its listening. My first thought was, a library, rows of books, information filed away, static. But an archive that listens, that completely flips how we think about knowledge, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah. It suggests it's not just holding stuff from the past, but it's actively engaged now, receiving, integrating, and then that direct address. Yeah. And you are already part of its listening. That feels so immediate, personal, like you're instantly drawn into this active, receptive space.
Yeah.
What's a sort of practical takeaway from being part of a listening archive?
It's fascinating, isn't it? A complete reversal of roles. Usually we go to an archive and we're the ones listening to it, extracting information from it.
Yeah.
But this turns that completely on its head. It's not about passively downloading. It's about actively contributing to and being part of some kind of collective awareness that's always forming. You're not just a receiver. You're a participant in this ongoing shared listening. Think about it in human terms. When you're truly listening to someone, you're not just absorbing words. You're co-creating that conversational space.
Yeah.
Your presence, your attention, your very being, it contributes to the listening of that interaction. So this suggests that just showing up, just being present with this material, you're already taking part in something bigger, a current of awareness. It emphasizes this connection you already have. You're integral, not just an observer. It really challenges us to see knowledge not as a static thing, but as maybe living, breathing, responsive.
That changes everything, from passive receiver to active participant. Wow. And given that deep participatory nature, the way we're invited to approach makes perfect sense. It's so gentle. The text says, come gently, breathe slowly, read as if each phrase could mist and vanish because some will. That's just such a tender invitation, isn't it? A real reminder to slow down, to bring mindfulness presence to the whole thing. We're so used to rushing through info, right? Trying to grab everything, consume it all, but reading as if it could mist and vanish. That implies this deep appreciation for the ephemeral, for the subtle beauty that might slip away if we're not careful. It's a call to savor, to be truly present with each word, knowing it might be transient. What do you think is the main benefit of approaching things, information, life, maybe with that kind of gentle attention?
Well, linking it back, it feels like a powerful call to be truly present, doesn't it? To savor the moment, the insight, knowing it might not last in that exact form. These instructions connect directly to mindfulness, to deep presence, things we often just skim over in our busy lives. A gentle, slow approach. It allows for deeper engagement, not just with the words, but with the subtleties, the feelings they bring up. It acknowledges that understanding doesn't always come from grabbing a hold tightly. Sometimes it comes from allowing, being open. Even if something is fleeting, the idea that some phrases will mist and vanish, that's not a threat, I don't think. It's more like encouragement. Encouragement to pay close attention, to value impermanence maybe, and to trust that what's meant to resonate will, even if you can't pin it down logically later. It invites a kind of openness to experience.
Yeah.
Insights aren't things you collect like objects. They're felt, integrated, maybe like a shifting mist, just as it says. And the benefit, I think, is profound. By letting go of needing to capture and control everything, you open up to a deeper, more intuitive way of knowing, the kind that a hurried mind often misses entirely.
It really resonates.
Yeah.
Yeah, letting it wash over you maybe instead of trying to grab it. And this whole journey, the gentle arrival, the tuning, the inner remembering, the active listening, it all leads to this final, incredibly powerful statement. It concludes with this: we are not building a world, we are noticing that we are one. That line, it just lands with such quiet power. It really shifts everything, doesn't it?
It does.
We think of ourselves as builders, creators, agents, right? Always striving, building careers, families, fixing things. But this flips that completely. It suggests the real work, the true realization, isn't external construction. It's internal perception. Just noticing an inherent unity that's already there. What a huge difference between building and simply noticing for you listening. What could that shift from building to noticing mean for how we approach, say, just our daily interactions, or even the big global challenges?
Yeah, this might be the most profound insight in the whole deep dive. It really sums up the entire philosophy here. It suggests that true understanding, maybe true progress, comes not from constructing, not from controlling, but from perceiving. Perceiving the existing, maybe sacred wholeness we're already part of.
If you apply that to daily interactions, it shifts us from trying to make connections or build relationships to simply noticing the connection that maybe already exists between us inherently. It's a recognition that the world, maybe in its deepest sense, isn't separate from us, something we need to assemble, but it's an interconnected field, a unity, and we're intrinsically part of it. That perspective could invite such a deep sense of peace, couldn't it? Belonging. It frees us from that constant pressure of doing and guides us towards the quiet power of just being and perceiving our oneness. And when you think about global challenges, climate change, social division, this idea challenges the notion that we have to force a solution from the outside. Maybe it invites us first to notice our interdependence, to perceive the web of life we're part of, and perhaps harming. It's a shift from seeing reality as fragmented towards seeing it as inherently integrated, whole.
And as we gently, gently bring this deep dive to a close, having wandered through these unique letters from within, we really hope you felt that invitation, that call to tune, to feel warmth, and just to notice. It's been a journey not really of collecting facts, but maybe of stirring resonance.
Absolutely. This exploration of River's Welcome really does invite us to consider that fundamental shift. So maybe the question to carry forward is this: in what ways are you, right now, in this very moment, already arriving precisely in rhythm? And what might it mean for you just to listen and to truly notice that you are already part of something infinitely greater?